Shears, unfortunately, sometimes get dropped. And this video is really about what to do if you drop either a cutting shear or a thinning shear and it wants to hang up when you try to close it. Now we saw how a shear can get dropped on the ground, and one thing that can happen when a shear gets dropped is the two edges can be driven into each other at the point where the blade is open. And that can cause a thinning shear to hang up to where you can't close it beyond that point. It can cause a cutting shear to also hang up on the nick. Now the key thing, if this ever happens to you, is to pick that shear up and push the blades apart and get past the point of the nick. You don't want to force it through the nick, okay? Now once you have it closed, you might be able to fix the shear enough to where you can keep using it until it can be sharpened by doing this technique. Push the blades as tightly together as you can possibly make them and slowly open the blade, getting past that point where it was hung up. Then push the blades apart, close it again. Then let's push them together tightly again and slowly open. And what we're trying to do is bend that little bit of metal that's causing it to hang up back out to where it's flat. So you want to do this 2 or 3 or 4 times until you can close it without it hanging up. And that's a way to keep your shear working until you get it sharpened. We still recommend in a situation like this that you have your shear sharpened. This technique will also work on cutting shears using the same technique. Now, one other thing that you should know is thinning shears can hang up just because you have your tension too loose. You can literally push and drive the cutting edge right into the tooth. So if that ever happens, again, do the same technique, but now you want to also adjust your tension, see how loose this is. So the tension's too loose, so we're just going to use our adjusting coin, and if you don't have that, use a screwdriver. And we're going to turn the screw a little bit to the right. And we'll do it in small increments. If it has a tension system, you'll probably feel it click, and do it 1 click at a time. And what I'm looking for is the minimum tension that's going to keep this shear wide open when I lift the finger up. See, it still wants to drop a little. We'll give it one more little nudge. And now the tension is good. So now the likelihood of me hanging this thinning shear up again is almost 0.